Good morning, pregame crew. It is Monday, September 12th, 2022, 8:21 a.m. Eastern, 6:21 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm Charkel Lori, and you're at the pregame show. We're going to get ready for the stock market, crypto market, and commodities market today. We're going to look at what's moving and shaking this morning. I'll officially get started in 9 minutes. When this says 6:30 down here on the right corner, that's where I'll get started with the indices, commodities, crypto movers and shakers of the day. Between now and then, audio visual check, please. I'm going to say hello to my friends and do a few chart requests. Good morning. Hey, Luciano, Neil, Andre, Greg, Carlos, Homo, Bobo, Night Truck, Anu, Alnick, Topher, Mal, Chris, ER, Andre, Derek, Casey, Brave, yep, Roger, Rob, Night Truck, thank you, Bask, Mary, Whitney, good morning. Awesome, perfect. So Neil, did you want BBBY divided by BTC? They're not typically correlated, so I was a little confused. I was looking at it earlier. I couldn't ascertain anything from that. I don't know if you're looking at assets that are risky and try to compare, but BBBY is just a little bit weaker than Bitcoin at the moment, but I couldn't figure out anything or get you in any analysis that would further probably what you're trying to accomplish. Yes, we live. Let's do it. So on BBY, we are struggling up here. Hourly got overbought and now we're pulling back. Hourly overbought and a daily downtrend is a reverse back burner. That's typically where we look to top fish. I think top fishing 912 makes sense. And I will cover Bitcoin like I always do every day. Let me go back. BYA. Small cap. Let's see. When we have a chart that looks like this pulled back what, 90+%, 95% from the high of February 21. That tells us there's something fundamentally not working in this company. Our monthly's oversold. Our weekly's probably oversold, or is that kind of cooled off? Yep, still oversold, potential bear flag. Something is not right. There's some dilution. Something's going on. Hourly, we're struggling up here at the EMA. And you have to think about this chart, and every step upward is going to be met with bag holders that have been praying for this bounce so they can offload for a little bit less of a loss. You've got all this baggage overhead. If you think of EMAs as tree branches, look, they're hitting their head on this tree branch. Look at all the tree branches they've got to get through. Or if you want to think of it as bag holders, same difference, overhead. So this is a problematic chart in general. Yes, it had a good bounce. It's having a good bounce, $1.48 support, then $1.42 resistance, high of pre-market, $1.69, then $1.89. But this is a broken chart. Something has changed. Potential 4-hour bear flag. Okay. Morning. ADA USD. On the 12-hour. It's a little more drawn out now, so let's look at it on the daily. So now I'm looking at it on the daily. So you can see when things, you see how many candles we have? A bull flag doesn't typically have 6 candles. So if we tighten this up on the daily, yes, it could be a bull flag. Let's look at the criteria of a bull flag. Do we have a big extension? Well, kinda. We have upper wicks profit taking. We do have declining bear volume on the consolidation. We are holding EMAs. I just don't like these upper wicks of bears selling into pops. These hourly downtrends are not getting a lot of follow through. That gives a little more validity to a bull flag on a high time frame, but 52 cents is the line in the sand. We got 52 cents high level of resistance there and support at 0.5018 and 0.4990. 15-minute bulls are trying. They get these little tiny higher highs without a lot of follow through, most likely a rising wedge, and they're coming back again. On the weekly, odds favor a lower high. If we look at the size of this bounce, we have bounced 50%. So that increases the odds that on the pullback, we have enough room for a higher low on the weekly. So that's what prudent bears are looking for, an entry into ADA to top fish. And then prudent bulls will be looking to defend The 4-hour higher low compared to 0.4990. All right, WCN, lots of requests this morning. Bearish divergence, that's really jumping out at me. If we look at this higher high, lower low, lower high on RSI, sorry, higher high, lower high. And then up here in price, we got a higher high. So that's some bearish divergence we just want to be aware of. Trash is in season, it looks like. We got over 14562. Bulls are going to want to be real careful that this isn't some type of megaphone playing out here. We got a higher high, but they're going to want to see follow through today. You're in blue sky territory, so RSI doesn't matter. As long as the hourly EMAs are below you, bulls are in charge. XTZ, USD. Weekly lower high anticipated. Daily chart, nice bounce, plenty of room for a higher low on the next pullback compared to $1.40. We're running into the 50 EMA and having a problem getting over it. Bears, aggressive bears will be looking to top fish a potential 4-hour lower high compared to 1758. Yeah, we're getting these upper wicks of profit taking as we come into this $1.73. We have enough room for hourly higher low. This looks very similar to ADA. You just see signs of bulls tiring out up here. Bonjour, Roger. Good morning, hello. Karkuki, Amir, Rob, Gregory, Rory, Zhao, Joey, Andre. Oh, Elmo. I'll work on it, okay? Oh, Elmo. Hey, Whitney, you want to look at Chicken Man? Nope, that's not Chicken Man. That's Sprout. Thought that was Sanderson Farms. So on the monthly, we're looking for a lower high compared to 35.34, most likely scenario. On the weekly chart, we could take out 31.65. We're close enough. On the daily chart, odds favor a lower high compared to this 31.65. So aggressive bears are looking to position for a potential top fish. Your resistance high of Friday, 30.79. Your support midday action, 30.45 and 30.25. Yeah, let's hit that like button. Ciao, Bella. Rivian, one more minute. I'll get started with indices. Hey, Maddie. Hey, Denny. If y'all can't tell, I love my job. Doesn't feel like a job most days. All right, weekly, we bounced enough to make enough room for a higher low on a pullback. We had a great day Friday. We had a really good day on Thursday. We do have a gap below at 34.40. Bears are going to be eyeing that. Rivian has a tendency, not a guarantee, a tendency to give back gains. So I would be looking for a daily lower high top fish, 4-hour overbought. But we're in a weekly uptrend, so the 4-hour overbought doesn't matter as much. I'd say the bulls are looking toppy up here. I'd be looking at top fish 38, 38.30. I know they had good news last week, so I'd be careful. 37.29 support and then 36.40. And I would watch Tesla as a leading indicator for this ticker because Tesla's had relative strength day in, day out. And I'm looking for Tesla to start topping out, and then names like Rivian would probably get some headwind if Tesla were to pull back. Y'all ready to get started? No problem, Andre. That's my job. Hey, Anu, I'll try to get to it at the end. Oh, perfect, Whitney. You and I are on the same page then. Good morning. How are you? This is who I am at CharkAlLori. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter. I won't spam you too much. I may sing Cardi B to you, but in general, I won't jam you up, coachy. So you can check us out at chartguys.com. We teach technical analysis, and what I do here every morning is I go over our Fab 4 indices. I go over our international markets, the US 10-year if it's relevant. I go over commodities, Bitcoin and Ethereum, crypto, and then commodities, GC, so gold, oil, nat gas, and movers and shakers of the day. So I have some notes off screen that I copy and paste for TCG members when I'm done. It is their extra perk because I do give away most of this data for free. So I try to reserve something for our loyal TCG members. If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the link below in the video description to receive a PDF explanation. So overall, I'm looking bearish today, and I'm a cautious bear. So RSI bearish divergence is a synthetic resistance, or doesn't hold as much weight as if I were telling you we were getting hourly lower highs on ES. We're not. We're getting hourly higher highs. So price action is still king, queen, prince, and princess. I haven't said that in a while. Let me say it again. Price action is king, queen, prince, and princess. I look for patterns in price, patterns in RSI, fibs, EMAs, dark pool action, you name it. I'm looking for extra data so I can compile and say, okay, what is all this evidence pointing to? So, and bearish divergence on RSI meaning, so here we got a higher high on price, and then on RSI, we got a lower high. So we went from a higher high to a lower high, while price went from this lower high to a higher high, but we made another higher high, but RSI was unable to get there. That is a small check in the criteria for bears, and I see it across all indices. So we note that, okay. But then if we revert back to what I say day in, day out, usually into the microphone with my best Delilah voice, Maddie, is I say if the hourly EMAs are below you, we stay in bullish, and vice versa. So I see many things pointing to potential bull exhaustion, and I'm already in an ES short this morning. However, as long as these hourly EMAs are below me, I am not going to trust bears as far as I can throw them. No problem. That's why I'm here. So if we look at the big scheme of things, the weekly chart, let's look at this retrace. So it's going to get kind of clouded. So from the high of August 15th to the low of September 6th last week, if we look at the retrace, look at ES. We have retraced, I'm going to get it even closer, to the 50%. Do you see that? 410550? That was the 50% retrace. That's good news for bulls. So that means on the weekly, I'm going to delete everything now. On the weekly, bulls have given themselves enough room for a higher low on a pullback, taking off the table the potential for a bear flag. That's positive. We're running into the weekly 21 EMA from below. We're running into the weekly 50 RSI. And 4 hour, we're running into the 200 MA. So on the hourly, I'm looking bearish. I'm looking for a potential loss of 4080. But my hypothesis is crap until we lose 408025 with increasing bear volume. Because bears and bulls can do a whole lot of sketchy things in pre-market hours when volume is lower. If bears want to prove something, they need to take out 408025 during regular trading hours. Then you'll get my attention. I will most likely stop out of my short attempt. Your resistance 4115, the high of overnight. Here's the fly in the ointment for bears. Can I find the fly in the ointment? Right here. When we dropped so fast over here on August 26th, that must have been Jackson Hole Day. We dropped so fast, we just cleared out that order book. Cleared it out. So now bulls can make hay while the sun's shining. Sorry for all the country metaphors, but they can cut through. There's no clear resistance overhead. The next resistance is a synthetic resistance. It was a prior support at 414750. So when you drop this precipitously and you come back into that area, typically bulls can cut through that like a hot knife in butter. So that's one small problem that bears have today, is the lack of bids stacked overhead. It's just, we wiped out that order book on Jackson Hole, so now we're just cutting through it. No big deal. Hourly bearish divergence, 4 hour, we're overbought. However, we're not in a confirmed weekly downtrend, so I'm not as concerned with 4 hour overbought. And daily, we've got tons of runway before we get daily overbought. So for me, this is a hurry up and wait. We have CPI data tomorrow, and I know it feels like it's just going to be this huge week with PPI, CPI, and all these other days. Well, guess what? This is a nothing burger. Guess what's next week? FOMC. We have stuff all the time. We just have to stay agile and assume every week we're going to have Fed speakers. We're going to have some type of big acronym, PMI, PPI, CPI, ADP. We're going to have a lot of acronyms thrown at us every single week. We just have to assume every week has this huge economic potential headwind or binary event that we have no control over, and we let our stop losses do the worrying for us. All right. So if we look at the dollar, good morning, Scott. How are you? All right. So dollar, 4-hour crossed oversold. You see, I say hit oversold. We're no longer oversold, but we're in a weekly uptrend. Holding the weekly 8 EMA. If you typically give me a 4-hour oversold, I'm going to scout a weekly higher low. And this looked like it was going to be a prudent location to do that, but we lost that 15-minute uptrend already. The bears are really playing some good defense. Bulls want to get over 108.303, and if dollar can get a bounce going, that would help the indices. It would help equities. The Hang Seng was closed overnight. This 2.69%, that's left over from Friday. They have their holiday, the Fall Festival. Whomever's celebrating that, best wishes. I don't know what all that entails, but it seems interesting. And then DAX was up 1.55%. That's a bull tailwind for U.S. equities. Now let's go back to NASDAQ. Good morning. All right. NASDAQ, we're close to losing the hourly 8 EMA, but close only counts in hand grenades and first dates. So until we lose 12648, bears have proven nothing, but we still have that same RSI bearish divergence. Do you see it? Meaning RSI made a lower high while price continued to make a higher high. So your resistance is overnight high 1277450, support 12648 RTY. You guessed it, RSI bearish divergence. 1896.40 resistance, then 1900 psych. Your support 1878, 1877. Bears have proven nothing until they can get through 1877 and break that support with higher volume. Dow is closer to losing that 8 EMA on the hourly. You have support at 32235. And you guessed it, bearish hourly divergence. So the notes look very similar on all of these Fab 4 indices. I would tell you that ES was the most overbought when I looked at it on 4-hour compared to the other three. Yeah, RSI is 76. It's cooling off ever so slightly, but still, it is the most extended. I gave you the levels on YM. So VIX. VIX is up 3%. All right, I want you to just stop and think about that. I tell you week in, week out that it's hard to chart VIX. VIX is emotions. It doesn't follow technical analysis as clearly as other names, because is it spiking because people are hedging because of CPI tomorrow? Is there real fear, or is it just hedging and that's spiking volatility as people buy a few VIX futures contracts to hedge against the CPI tomorrow? We don't know. I would say though, this is a divergent indicator. We're up almost 3% on VIX while ES is up 0.37%. I would say that's bearish divergence for equities. That's showing that fear is entering the market. We need to get over 2360 to confirm an hourly trend change back to the upside. VIX bulls have a ton of work to do as a 4-hour lower high is anticipated on a bounce, a daily lower high is anticipated on a bounce. Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin. Bulls have bounced enough on daily for potential higher low. They're getting through that daily 50 MA. I typed out this morning struggling at the daily 50 MA, but they're above it. 4-hour 8 EMA is supporting price, and 4-hour RSI is almost 80. Bitcoin, a bullish appetite for Bitcoin shows that investors are not scared of the riskier assets. That's typically a bullish tailwind for equities, showing that Bitcoin, if people are buying up Bitcoin, then they're not scared of the market crashing because Bitcoin's one of the riskier assets. You have support at 21461, 21127. I was looking at Coin and other names saying, can we capitalize on this Bitcoin bullishness? I mean, maybe, but this RSI is 76 on the 4-hour on coin. We don't have a confirmed daily uptrend. So it just kind of left me dazed and confused. And I don't like to be like that. So I couldn't put coin or Riot or MARA as a potential long. But if you trade those off, and I would look to those. What about BKKT? That could be a potential long for a Bitcoin correlation trade, but I don't like it up here. It went 11% on Friday. Could be a little tired. Ethereum potential daily bull flag right there. 4-hour has been grinding the 21 EMA right here. And it's losing a little footing when I was looking at it last. You see how we're losing the hourly EMAs and we have this hourly EQ? Is Ethereum some type of canary for Bitcoin? Do you see the difference? Look at Bitcoin. Another leg up, and look at Ethereum sideways. So this will be interesting to see how this resolves. Support 1730, 1713, resistance 1766, and 1783. You know what, Jeannie? I've had those names so often where you say I always lose money on coin. I used to always lose money on CMG because CMG can disconnect from the market. Let me show you about CMG. Look at that. Does this chart look like any other chart we're watching? No, it already has a weekly higher high. So I would try to trade CMG using my correlation tricks, and it just doesn't work on some tickers. You have to realize which tickers can disconnect from the overall markets and which ones can't. And then I say, okay, I used to call CMG the ticker that shall not be named, kind of like Harry Potter. It shall not be named. I didn't even want to say its names. I wouldn't even put it over here, like in my account or on TradingView. I didn't want CMG touching any other tickers. I felt like it'd get it dirty. So trust me, we've all been there. Beto could be a top fish setup. Oh wait, no, Beto is the long, right? It could be a bottom fish setup. Initially, I thought you were talking about BITI, which is the bearish Bitcoin ETF. This is the bullish Bitcoin ETF. It's already up 4.5%. I don't know. It could work. I'd wait for a pullback buy. Burritos or honey badgers, aren't they, MG? All right, so we went over Ethereum being a little bit weaker than Bitcoin. Now let's look at gold. Gold. Monthly uptrend, we still have 1677.90 as support. And on the weekly, bulls have made enough room for a higher low, but it ain't cute. We've opened up already with an inside bar bull break over last week's high. But look, we're not getting follow through. I drew these lines way earlier this morning when I woke up at 3 o'clock. You have resistance up at 1757. So 1745, the high of this move, and 1757. You have support at 1722 and 1721. I don't favor a gold long up here while the dollar is 4-hour oversold in a weekly uptrend. I'd rather the dollar get its bounce going and then look for a potential gold bottom fish on a pullback. And if that was a lot. That was probably as succinct as I get. So if you want to rewind and listen to that again, because go me, I actually made a point at 6:45 in the morning. It's hard, y'all. It's hard out there. All right. Daily, we bounced plenty for a daily higher low on the next pullback. Your next resistance, 90.39. Nice bounce. About 9.2% from the low of last week. That's a nice bounce. We have plenty of room for a higher low compared to 81.20 on the next pullback. 4-hour uptrend. Looking for a potential daily lower high. Hourly is overbought as we look for a daily lower high. We're getting to that reverse back burner area, but the bulls are showing no signs of slowing, so I wouldn't mess with them up here. Let them do you, boo. There is some bearish divergence right there on the 15-minute where we're making lower highs on RSI. Nat gas, if you wanted to print this for mom's fridge and say, Mom, do you want to see a perfect little pattern that's setting up? Doesn't mean it's confirmed. This is a nice bear flag. We got declining bull volume on this little pop-up, trap below the daily 50 EMAs, upper wicks of bears selling into it, below the EMAs, maintaining 1/3 of the pole. Boom, 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 boom. Potential bear flag. 4 hour getting tiny, higher highs here without a lot of follow through in it. Then we got a lower high, then we broke to lower low. This just looks bearish to me. Apple, here I am, Tammy. On time, right when you asked for it. Apple. Hourly is overbought and a daily downtrend. So we are in a daily downtrend and hourly is overbought. RSI is 74. I don't like that. That's a top fish setup for me. So on the weekly, we have plenty of room for a higher low on Apple. And that's most likely set once we got over 159. So that weekly higher low is most likely set. So then we start looking for a weekly lower high. And on the daily, we're looking for a lower high. So looking for a daily lower high and a daily downtrend while hourly is overbought, that makes a ton of sense. So I like a top fish of these pre-market levels, 159.54. No, you're my girl. So careful with Apple, just careful. When I look at this weekly chart and I say, man, look at that lower wick last week of bulls buying the dip. You go, bulls. But on the daily chart, they're still trapped below that daily 50 MA. And you know that's my level. We're getting over it in pre-market, but that doesn't matter to me. I want you to do it during regular trading hours. So I'd be cautious Apple long. Amazon, the chart looks extended, which I say in quotation marks. So we do have a daily uptrend. Daily uptrend, 4 hours approaching overbought. Hourly is overbought, bearish divergence. And then I'm just going to make it simple. As long as hourly EMAs are below any chart we look at, stay bullish until that changes. Just stay bullish. So I don't like where it is up here. There's no meat left on the bone for me as a bull. As a bear, plenty of meat on the bone, but I got to make sure I have friends with me on the trade. NVIDIA, top fish. We are in a daily downtrend. We're in it to win it, daily downtrend. We do have a gap overhead at 149.59 would be the gap fill area. We're running into the 8 EMA on the daily. Oh, I just saw a typo on my notes over here. And we have hourly bearish divergence. Let me show you again. You see that? RSI making lower highs while price is making higher highs of 145.26. It's a top fish for me. Tesla relative strength, yes, yet we do have the hourly bearish divergence on Tesla. Man, even my lines I drew hours ago, they keep breaking bull. So daily's overbought at 71. I keep it simple though. Tesla's been so strong, just like Amazon. As long as the hourly EMAs are below you, stay bullish. It's just that easy. AMD, scouting a daily lower high at hourly 200 MA overhead with RSI bearish divergence. Y'all see the trend. Support 84.76. I don't act on this till I see some elevated bear volume. During regular trading hours, I wanted short a bounce at 86.05 and use it around 86.05 and use 86.05 as my stop. Scouting daily lower high at hourly 200 MA overhead. Shop. Potential top fish against $35. 4 hour overbought and a daily downtrend. So I'm not calling this an uptrend because we're not confirmed. Okay. And we're at the daily 200 MA. Excuse me, daily 50 MA. So daily downtrend, 4 hour overbought at the daily 50 MA. That's top fish for me, dog. So I would love to top fish $34.90 or $35 psychological. Tilray, I got this idea from Dan. Scouting a daily lower high. It's a top fish set up against 348, 349. Looking for that daily lower high. We're at the 8 EMA. This 351 prior support could serve as resistance. So we're going to top fish any type of bounce on Tilray using 351 as a stop. And finally, ZS. First 5-minute back burner trade setup. Let's see if that's still viable. Yes. So we had a huge day, almost 22% on Friday on earnings. So I'm looking for the first 5-minute oversold. And if that happens during pre-market hours, I'll wait for the first 15-minute oversold for potential back burner counter trend flip, meaning we just flip it. Oh, good, John. I'm glad you found it useful. Uber. Uber good bounce. Bears will be looking to top fish the weekly lower high against 33.36. Bulls have that tempo. Our hourly RSI bear divergence. Careful, careful. A, B, and B. They usually trade similarly. Looking for a weekly lower high compared to 127.09. Daily approaching overbought. 4 hour is overbought. And we don't have a confirmed weekly trend change yet. Careful, careful up here. I would just stay long as these 15-minute and hourly EMAs are below you. Cost. Daily higher high. 4 hour not overbought, hourly not overbought. Running into the 200 MA. Got to clear 538.06. If not, I'd look for a pullback buy compared to 530.64. All right. I should end with a song. Whitney Love. Y'all would not always love me. You see what I did right there? I will always love you, Whitney Houston. You would not love me anymore if I ended with a song. No singing here because I do like y'all. AVAX, and then I'm done. Beautiful. 4 hour overbought. 4 hour overbought, and we don't have a confirmed weekly uptrend yet. 8 EMAs suppressing price. Daily decent bounce. We're not even at the 0.382 on the weekly. This could still be a weekly bear flag. We have to be careful. Daily 50 MA overhead. 4 hour overbought. Bears are licking their chops looking for an entry. But I would avoid as long as the 15-minute EMAs are below price. All right. Well, thank y'all for joining me. Y'all have some safe trading out there. Have a wonderful trading week. Hit that like button. Go give me a follow on Twitter at ChartGallery. Hit the subscribe button, notify button, any button, and bring a friend. All right. Use stop losses.